Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Consulate CEO. I know a lot of you can't attack this site, so I'm going to be helping you guys out and giving you 3 different attacks using my A, B, C format that I would use in Pro League. A is going to refer to your default strats, B is going to refer to your directs and minimals, and C is going to be rushes. I'll give you guys one of each and explain why you would want to run one. All right, so let's start talking about the A strategy. For me, the most default strategy that you can run on this map is going to be an admin clear. This is going to be very step-by-step, and again, you're going to be able to run this majority of the time. There's not a lot the defense can do besides just throwing all their bodies inside admin, and as long as you're very thorough, you should have no problem with this. So to start off, I like to take admin, which is going to be step 1, taking admin. I'm going to like to do that by all hands on deck, meaning all 5 players are going to help. But first, I want to take a step back on that and explain something called phantom pressure. I don't know if a lot of you guys are doing this on your attacks, but you never want to spawn up right away and just run at admin and all 5 players like hop on repel and start taking it. You need to be opening barricades on other sides of the map to give the illusion of the defense that you guys aren't all just all in on an admin take. They're going to be able to just throw bodies at you, not have to worry about any rotates. So generally you're going to want to have 1 or 2 of your players be able to spawn on the other side of the map. You want to spread out. You want to be opening B2 window. You want to be opening spiral window, CEO window, pro window. And if we have any nades in the lineup or a Flores, which we will, it's always good to throw one at the reception desk. If you can open that up, it's going to help later into the clear. For this take, I have 2 flex positions, but we're going to start with the operators that I think are pretty much needed for me, and that's going to be a Grim, a Deimos, and a Flores. And that Flores can be a recruit. He just needs to be able to clear the soda shield himself, so whether it's a Flores or a recruit with flashes and nades. So those are 3 ops that I always love to bring. Other than that, the other 2 are pretty flexible. But let's bring a shield and let's bring a sense. All right, so we're going to have 2 people repelled on these windows on admin. This is going to be your Grim and your sense. Flores is going to be repelled on your break window, which is your cutoff window. He could be one of the players that are opening up the B2 side, the CEO side. He's going to be repelled on this window for cutoffs. And then your other 2 players, your shield and your Deimos, are going to be taking Visa below. You're going to want your shield player to be droning in underneath if you guys don't have pre-placed, and you're going to want to be able to watch the flanks. So your tellers, your Visa stairs, your crack hall, your broke hall, whatever you want to call that. That flank, and then this flank that sees your lower spiral and your tellers. So once you have those set up, your Deimos just comes in, and then your players on the window, your Grim, your Sense, are going to be droning. They're going to be calling out anyone that's stuffing us in admin. That's going to be like a zombie, mute. You're going to want to just call out those players. Deimos will track them, push them back. If there's mute jammers and they're trying to play on mute jammers and they're trying to counter, Grim can bring EMPs. You could try to EMP the mute jammer. But yeah, basically you want to use your Grim Bees and your Deimos to try to push back any defenders into your guy on the break window who's holding this cross. After you do that, you come inside. Flores is going to take this spot. Sense will also be here and break with him. And then you're going to want your Grim to be pushed over here on admin. So Grim's going to be responsible for glow swing or the sight door swing. Never a bad idea to make a few holes into here as well, so you can Grim a little bit later or be able to help if any defense aggresses you. Your shield player is going to get off the cams and join everybody in admin, and then your Deimos will stay underneath, hold his own flank cams if need be. So that brings us to step 2, which is clearing this soda player. This is the most commonly underplayed position if the defense starts falling back. It's generally going to be a zombie or a shield. So in order to clear this, that's what this Flores/recruit's really important for. You could just Flores through the drone hole, get the shield, or if you're a recruit, you can just flash through the drone hole. Flores can also do this. You can flash through the drone hole, waste if he has any magnets, any ADSs, and then sense nades and bank off this wall. Or recruit, you can waste your own ADS and then nade yourself. You would bank it off this wall, and it will either clear the player, clear the shield, make a move. And then off that, you want your Deimos walking up, and you want your Grim holding the glow swing. The Deimos would walk up, He gets naded. He now has to run away to reception. He has to leave the nade. You can scoop up the kill. So that's one way of clearing the soda guy. Another way of clearing the soda guy with this lineup could be your Deimos could rotate to bottom spiral. Right? He has all of underneath control. He can lurk bottom spiral. He can get to this position. And then you can utilize that sense. You can sense wall down lamps, block off the vision for the defenders, and then blitz and run at the soda guy. And you can have sense doubled up with him. Make sure you get the kill, or you use a nade, make him run, panic into the Deimos. That's going to be waiting right here. So these are just traps. There's tons of variations of traps that you guys will see other teams running. These are just two common ones that you could do with this operator lineup. I'm sure you guys can figure out tons more, but I want to stay pretty basic for this video. After you clear the soda guy, you could start working long desk, which again, utilizing that sense to cut off the vision for the defenders. So if there is anyone close or anything like that, you don't have to worry about them fighting long angles. Now we're able to push long, take these fights. If you were able to clear the reception desk early in the round by using a nade or a Flores, it's gonna be great. Now there's like nowhere to hide behind because it is breakable. So if we're walking up spiral, anyway, we're gonna want to push these defenders back using that blitz, using the Deimos, using the sense, whatever we have. And once they are pushed back, all we need to do is just hold the door. We don't need to push any further. We're just gonna leave a gun here holding the door. And then step 3 is anyone that's in this aggressive position that we left alone, which is like close glow. This guy might have peeked and died already in the round, but he might just be chilling whiteboard or something like that, or Bosco spot, waiting to see what's happening with the push. After we get long desk control, we now have another angle. We can time walking in glow at the same time as pushing lamp saw and fighting this guy. We also have the Deimos under, so don't forget we can just send the Deimos underneath and clear him. After all that's done, we're pretty much set. I don't want to say there's a set execute in Siege because it's depending where the defenders are. Of course, if they're all running at us or if they are flooding below with C4s, we can always go for a push through. But most commonly, let's say it's a 5v3. We work those 2 picks really well. We got to pick an admin. We got the soda pick. Everyone else backed up on defense. They're probably just going to try to smoke us out. I think one thing that's not really known is that if there is a smoke in CEO, he's usually smoking against this wall here, and that doesn't fully cover the plant. You're able to run deep, and that smoke will miss like 90% of the time. So you actually can get a plant down glow. But if you're ever worried about not being able to get a plant here, maybe the smoke has a different lineup. Maybe he is hitting it, or maybe they have a Tachanka and they have a lineup for this. It's always good to just give the bomb to the shield player, because the shield player, after taking all this control, can just walk lamps, walk into the flip table and plant, and this is extremely hard to smoke. All right, next let's talk about our B strategy. This is going to be the Grim CEO window take. A lot of teams run this take, and again, there's a lot of variations, but I'm going to go over something that I think is just very basic. It works, and it works for me. So that's going to be, let's run the Grim, the Amaru, the Buck, the Deimos, and a Lion. So the whole point of this take is that you're going to be constantly swinging in this window with Amaru, just over and over again, and the defense's response is to smoke the plant. You'll take 1 ticket damage, you'll jump out, all is good, all is well. And you can keep doing that over and over again until smoke runs out of utility, and maybe you got them to waste some C4s as well, and you can plant the bomb. So that's the whole idea for that. Now, how do we get into that spot? We can't just swing in right off the rip and have no cover. So for that, we need Buck and Deimos to take below. And it doesn't have to be Deimos. It's another flex. It could be a flank wall drop. It could be Nomad if you're against a really aggressive team and you're scared of getting flanked. But you're going to want that Deimos to set up flank cams and get in underneath as well and hold flanks. Buck's going to get in underneath, and Buck is going to be bucking out that close. Let me show you guys that close pro window spot. So this is generally where smoke's going to be playing. you're going to have someone playing here with a smoke or a C4. So he'll be bucking out this when everyone is ready to go. Deimos on the flank cams. Grim is going to be on your CEO window, being able to shoot Bs during the execute. So if anyone is in CEO, that we are able to, again, using that buck underneath, we're able to get the kills or push them out of CEO. And Lion is going to be your flex spot. I think the easiest thing to do is Lion to play on the pro window. Because if that guy is playing close pro, you're just another cutoff for him. As he's falling back, you can kill him. Sometimes smokes like to just play against this window because they have an angle that they can smoke the default plant. So being able to play here denies this spot. They now have to play somewhere a little bit more backed up. They'll have a hole here, and like this isn't the cleanest way to smoke the plant. So being able to pressure pro window is very good, but you want to be able to sync all that timing. You don't want to be on that pro window and not even bucking yet, or not even on the CEO window yet. We want to make sure everyone is synced using 3-2-1s when we want to go. So I guess the one thing I didn't really cover was in the start of the round, you will want to utilize a nade early on the CEO window to clear any Goyos, traps, barbed wire. That way you don't have to worry about that when you're swinging in with Amaru. And then the only other thing you need to check is that there's no rats hiding behind the CEO desk, which we have Grimbees to even check if we don't have drones. We have Deimos if people are tracked, and we have that buck under that we can just check it if need be. We don't want to lose to rats. Once all this is clear though, and the buck is set underneath and flank cams are set, we are good to go. And we're going to want to do it as early as possible so we can burn all the util, all the smokes, all the C4. So generally we should be started like, let's just say a minute into the round. Smoke's only 40 seconds. It's not going to burn enough time. And then we just Grimbee, hold for the aggressive swings. Buck's also going to hold underneath for the aggressive swings, and we'll get a plant down and just keep baiting. Again, there's a couple variations that you could do with this take. If you want to force the plant down immediately, you could get off the Amaru and run a Thatcher, and your Grim could Grimbee and then swing in himself with the bomb, and then Thatcher could throw all 3 EMP grenades trying to catch the smokes and the C4s, and we just get the bomb down immediately. That's a good variation that SSG does. You could also bring maybe a Finka instead of a Lion if you're worried about chip damage and smokes, even though you're only going to take 1 tick of damage, sometimes none. If you are worried about that, you can run a Finka instead of the Lion, just so you can kind of heal up every time you go outside. All right, and last but not least is the C strategy. And this is going to be your rush. This is going to be, you're going to gamble, you want to play a 50-50, maybe nothing is working, or maybe there's too many defenders off the site. This would be a good time to run the rush. This is probably the most common one that I've seen in Pro League. I know at least like 4 or 5 different teams run this or a variation of this. So maybe you've already seen this before, but it's going to consist of an Amaru, a Grim, a Capitao, a Buck, and a Lion. And the Lion's a flex spot, but I really like using the Lion for rushes, just being able to freeze the defenders. If they move, you kind of know where they're at, kind of thing. So for this, you're going to get your Buck underneath. He's going to be solo, but you're going to go really quickly. And his whole objective down here is bucking out the close pro window where that smoke does play, or where a defender usually is playing. So you're going to make a lot of noise here. You're going to buck this way looking for that kill, but you're not going to be staring at the holes because the defense, when they know you're rushing, they're going to try to immediately take below and try to C4. So you're going to buck below for pressure, and then you should just hold yourself, watch your hatches, watch your flanks, watch your lounge, and then when the bomb does go down, you are the post plant. You'll be able to stop everything from below. So that's the Buck's position. Then you're going to have a Capitao in the CEO window. This guy is also really important. This is the bait. Because maybe you did that CEO window swing earlier in the game, they're more aware of that being a possibility. They're ready to counter it this time. So that's why the Capitao's here. When we call the execute, the 3-2-1, you're going to fire over this bookcase here. It's going to get that spot that Buck is bucking out. So we're going to put a lot of pressure on that defender to move. And you're going to fire close so they can't swing you. And then you'll swing in. And what you're hoping for is they start dumping smokes, maybe C4 at this player. So I would just push through it and then try to get to like a death spot. If you go 1 for 1 here, that's great. Sometimes, and I've seen players on different teams, Liquid, Nesk would use this spot a lot, being able to get behind the desk, because now if they try to stop the plant, you can just kill everyone running by. They don't really realize that you're in. They think we're just baiting plants. The third position would be that lion, DMR. And for this, what I really like is just playing on, like, this is the easiest thing, but play on the roof. When we call the 3, 2, 1, you lion scan, you drop, and then you hold this angle right here. This is going to kill any of those close defenders that are already playing close yellow and they're freaking out for the plant. You know, maybe they have holes here to try to throw something at the plant, stop the plant. They're going to expose right into you in front of the B2 window. There's also a little bit of an angle where if this is soft and they're trying to run into CEO and stop the plant, again, that's what the cutoff is for. If nothing is really happening and we don't think bomb's going to get down, definitely play aggressive, jump in, do what you got to do to make noise on your side of the map. All right, and then going towards where the take is actually coming from, it's just going to be on this pro window. All it is going to be Grim, already repelled. You're going to shoot your bees all over pro. Hopefully to the left of you is taken care of by the Capitan, by the Buck. All you have to worry about is right in front of you. Amaru is going to swing into the window from the ground and just start planting. And again, Grim is just going to cover all the wide swings. Once bomb goes down, best post plant. I mean, you could play it on the window, but Buck is going to have your post plant underneath. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a like, hit the bell, and subscribe. It really would mean a lot to me. Also, please leave a comment down below which map and site you are struggling to attack or defend, and maybe it'll be featured in the next video. I'll see you guys in the next one.